瑞士批发哦，你看会这个地方，让夜海啊，地就啊，大地瑞瑞啊，地不够会不去饭啊，特啊，批评把这去的做。
Board for C and D gates.
May I have your attention, please, to help us ensure the safety of air travel. If you see any unattended articles, baggage, or packages, or any suspicious activity.
Oh, bad. Feel bad. A right to be were about the to about to say be to say. That I the to say all about to be about to the earth to pay a say if you are to that. I think about a read that do or do by.
I know. So weird.
Make your own.
Are you excited?
Oh, good.
Oh, yeah.
After happen, so that see ring, sushi. Retrieving the achieving from people. A baby, wow, gravity. I don't know about that. The urban stuff, so the retire, right. Wow. 地下水的半站。
Hello. Here to pick up a car. The guy in yellow? Okay.
And same good jewelry on yep.
That's why we're very excited to pick it up. Moment. How's the girl doing?
好不
Wow, she's dirty.
You guys on the go. We have a driving program. Check your gasoline if you get enough gas.
Sorry, maybe.
Nice car.
No, this is our one and only. We did a restoration like ourselves, documented on.
Oh, nice.
I mean, we did it with the shop too, but like we did as much as we could on our own. So, it's been
Mileage when you're ready.
okay, start it up and give him mileage. But it's from Oahu.
What size motor in there? What you got?
74? 74.
74, exactly.
What'd you say?
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Wow. Big dude. That's a big.
Woo!
How come she got a great food, trap the food, that's trap home. Third time I see out the back. That's what I thought about that. Third time I just stand up. I'm home. You have to choose me.
Crazy. Crazy to think here now.
Yeah. Very happy.
Been working for this moment for years. Yeah.
You still just have that rush. Fine, sit by this shot. We fine. Boom. We shift the fat with the over the in baby. Go baby did the fat sheep fat so busy. Whoa, but that is fat right in the fat. It is fat to die. Oh, baby to trap. Get the fat be in. You go fire. They might not be. Boom. Bill. Ooh. See, I will be cheered by food that I'm on the bed. I was about to be while I'm 50, 53 like that. I see really that all right. And I don't know that food because I'm all on the body really take people well by each. So while we are driving the background, it has a great interval. Or do you decide to operate for verify and see set up PC for ECC and EC versus fan OF1. Advertising with two fashion, but three cars, two food, three fifty one food barn. little baby has found a. This is wrong with the big baby. If you would. Selfie, birthday you out. See you do for my birthday birthday. See, stop. Please come to my tea. See, full of top. Each time full opening. Choose from and rate able. This is what I have it on. Please come to my tea. Okay. Yeah, this time. Let's do the. Get back. Từ đây chạy Từ đi à ý dù Thì Đi qua Bà hẹn Bi bi bà lại Bà tí mà for Cadillac. And when I see you, A, B, 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 E, I will think they'll be. Whoa. This is why I don't think you. What is movie? We don't see it so far. I don't start one of the five. Because it's something that I found. I do that fast forward. 50. And you. Oh, man. Oh, man. เ เ I'm going to do a movie. On time, and other thing anyway. Moving. Take out of the freeze easy and put it up. Woo! You ready?
No.